on again. So today's episode is going to be about the British colonialism and the story behind Hong Kong. So I'll start way back when, in the 1800s, British and Chinese, British and China, or the Chinese were trading for tea at the time because China had the best quality tea about. But after finding out that, so the way to get on this is the maddest. So we couldn't afford the fund for the tea because the prices rose. So what we started doing was
Did they up the prices or?
Yeah, the prices were just going up, lad. Yeah, so China upped the prices. We couldn't afford it no longer. So we come up with a little master plan.
I thought we were getting our tea in India. Is that another place we were getting it or something?
Well, tea from India as well. That was back because we
Yeah.
also colonised a lot of India too. But this was just specifically. I've written into the Hong Kong story, found it majorly interesting because it obviously leads into a few things. But
It's like it is interesting. I didn't even know we were over there.
oh, lad, we took over a lot of places.
I know we did, but I didn't know we went that far and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, definitely.
China.
100%. Well, this is where it gets a bit sticky anyway. So we couldn't afford the prices no more, so we had to come up with like some sort of way to make the money. And that's when basically, as the prices were rising, we wanted to still get the tea, so we started selling opium on the black market in China to like drug dealers and whatnot, so we could fund for the for the tea, sorry. So it is a bit cheeky what they were doing. It got to a point where like we're going to Hong Kong's port and we're dropping off heroin there, and then we're scooting on a little hour or two down the road, and then we're swapping the cash or gold or silver, whatever currency we've got for the tea. So behind their back, we're selling black market opium to dealers, then going down the street to the government, the officials, and giving them that dough for the tea, and then scooting off back home. Know what I mean?
Mad,
how sick's that, lad?
Yeah, it's nuts. I reckon that could still happen today. Me, defo. I reckon that still goes on
I think governments are tied into selling like they take all this cocaine and heroin.
I reckon all these seizures you see is literally just look, we do get them. Do you know what I mean?
Certain seizures like weed, I think certain weed seizures, if I'm right, actually get sold back to certain countries where weed's illegal, where weed's actually legal.
It's legal, right?
Medically legal though.
Yeah, so like
medically legal. Okay. So I think they'll sell the weeds, and then like they'll get like, don't know, like put in a lab and they'll take so much.
I thought you meant like sending them back to Amsterdam and stuff like that. No, or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
No, like mad places. Even we don't even get onto Amsterdam. Like Amsterdam, it's not legal in the damn.
Yeah, it's another topic.
5 gram, you're allowed to have. Yeah, I went on that podcast with Jay the other day and went in deep on that, so it's quite interesting that. But yeah, so we were making major dough off this heroin. Major and
cheeky that though, and turning up to one little snide place, dropping off a load of badness, pure badness.
Just to pick up tea.
Yeah, just to burn and picking up tea.
And then, well, it's because we didn't want to fall behind that at the time. Obviously, you've got to have the best spices, the best teas, the best clothing, like silk. Back then, you've got to have legit stuff, haven't you, to stay relevant. So we were wanting to be the biggest relevant country at the time. We were taking on what everyone.
Yeah. But wanted to be the top dogs, didn't we?
We did, but it didn't really pan out. Like it did for a while, but.
And how long were they like?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
No.
A long time.
Well, if it's going back from the 1800s, yeah, like
it's about 100 years.
Yeah,
maybe
it's a long time, that mate.
It is an awful lot. It's awful, mate. But yeah, China ended up finding out about us running this opium through in the black market because obviously there was a major increase of heroin use on the streets, and all people were just collapsing and blacking out and dying over this heroin and that because it was obviously a crazy strong drug. And it's mad that even to think about it, like back in the 1800s, early 1900s, and there was like heroin shops you could go and sit in and just buy heroin and smoke and that. It was legal to smoke and buy heroin, yeah, I swear to God, 100%.
In China?
No, in the UK.
Oh, sorry. Was it, yeah?
Yeah, it was legal.
Opium coffee shops?
Opium coffee shops, I swear to God. Opium dens, they were called.
That's sick.
That's
in a bad way sick, not a good way sick.
Yeah, it's moody, lad, it's moody. But yeah.
Imagine going into a coffee shop and everyone's just there, swagged out.
No, that's lad, there's literally videos, say, but yeah, there's videos and that.
You want a cafe, latte, cappuccino?
I'll send you the video, lad.
It's nuts, that lad.
Yeah, lads, it was full on legal, like it was full on legal. At a certain, well, we used to give it to soldiers in the war as well, like for pain.
What did they do back then? Smoke it, inject it?
No, so it was in the war. It was given in like a form of it's in like a metal thing, and you put a needle on it, stab it in you, like to neutralize pain. It was like a morphine, but after soldiers come back addicted to heroin.
Fuck, yeah.
Swear to God, lad, there's a lot of lads, you don't understand how big heroin runs through our
That was
country,
probably
lad.
all done deliberately as well, though, weren't it? So when you come back, you were fucking hooked on heroin. Know what I mean?
Well, hopefully not.
Like,
I think
why not just give them morphine?
I think they didn't have it then. That was the form of heroin, innit?
Okay.
That was the form of morphine. Was like
Fair
a
enough.
neutralised version of heroin, but it was still heroin at the end of the day. Or opium, sorry, should we say? It's still opium. But
Didn't you all get hooked on the same stuff in Nam? Wasn't all the soldiers on it there as well?
Yeah, I think so.
What's that?
That was a form.
It's another one we could
that
go
was meant
into.
to be morphine. Yeah, that's the morphine. But morphine's laced with opioids anyway. Like,
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, of course
Okay.
it is. It's a part of like crack and heroin. That's why they give it to when they give like heroin addicts and stuff like that. Or what we call them in Liverpool smackheads. I have to say this in case people look at me like, why didn't you say that? Why didn't you say smackhead? So heroin addicts, they give them like to wean it off in the chemist and that. They give them morphine to reduce the dose. That's why you always see punters in there.
That'll do wind them off, is it? Yeah.
And that, yeah. But it's a complicated situation, lad. But yeah, China ended up finding out about us, about Britain, because invading their country with pure opium, and it was ruining major people. Like, no people.
I wonder if it was just like the odd snide ship, or they were bringing shit.
No, lads, they were obviously doing. No, they were. I don't know. Lad, that was regular occurrences.
Yeah, there must have been, lad. Know what I mean?
You've got to look at it this way as well. Just think how many people wouldn't go to work if they're all cracked in.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, just think how that affected the Chinese economy.
Yeah.
So that's why China started seeing it, lad, because people just were all smacked up off their tits and didn't want to do anything. So it started affecting the Chinese economy, which obviously is terrible. So that's when they were like, nah, fuck this, lad. You mad, aren't you, little divvies? If you can't afford the tea, stop selling heroin in our country. You're just not getting the tea. You fucking minge bags.
Yeah,
that was basically it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, as you would. That was you. You do the same, wouldn't you?
Of course you would, lad. It's a piss take, but.
And then we've just turned around and gone, Sam, we'll go to war then. Is that basically what happened?
That's basically what happened.
It's so cheeky.
Because we refuse to accept them selling us to respect the China's what's the word? Like they've asked us to do something. We've said fuck off. We've just spat in the face basically and said, "You mad, aren't you, lad?"
They just asked us really to respect their culture and their way of living,
but we didn't, and we carried on doing it. And then because we carried on doing it, and didn't listen to China, then that did lead to the first Opium War, and that's where that little note was with there. But it ends up. I'm gonna just summarise the first Opium War. So in 1842, China ended up losing the Opium War, and a treaty called Nanjing was formed, giving the British colony a portion of the land which we know as Hong Kong. Now, after that, this is where it gets a little bit more sticky and stipulations, because after they lost the war, they give us a bit of land, but we carried on being helmets because we've got that land, or we've got that port, so like, fuck them. Let's just run major opium in. At this point, I don't know the actual statistics. We could probably, like, I haven't got my phone. Google it. Get your phone. Have you got your phone? Google it. The statistics of like the China population addicted to opium after the first Opium War. Just type that in and see what percentage it gives us. Because I swear to God, it was over like 50% of the China population that was on heroin. I'm not even joking, because it was advertised as it wasn't harmful. Like there was no negatives behind it. You know what I mean? It was just a way to get away from your troubles. That's like the selling it to you like it's a fucking lifetime. It's a lifetime holiday. Like you go on the Bahamas. You know
Should I just put drugs or heroin?
Just say opium. First Opium War, yeah. So you can see, I want statistical figures because I genuinely think, from what there were millions, it just says millions of addicts in the country. Well, there you go then. Millions is enough. The fact that there was millions of opium addicts in a country that's, I'd say, very anti-drug. Know what I mean?
Oh yeah, there we go. They reckon a whopping 13.5 million Chinese people
of the population of 400. So about 27%. So I was about 20% off.
Nearly 30% of the population.
That's a lot of people. That's 12 million or something.
Yeah. 12.5 million.
12.5 million people addicted to opium. 12.5 million people. I swear, have we even got a 12.5 million people in the UK?
13.5 million people.
13.5 million people. Well, that's even worse. Have we even got that many people in the UK?
60 million people in the UK, isn't it? Imagine that as a percentage, though, in the UK. That'd be
like 40%.
That's
that'd be nuts. We had major heroin and opium addicts back then as well.
Oh, it's mad. What is China's population? It's 1 billion people, isn't it?
It's a lot of people.
Look at that. It was 400 million back then. That's mad, man.
It's crazy how things change.
Yeah, imagine that carried on, though, lad. Like, obviously the population
That would have
grew
neutralised the
massively there. But imagine the opium kept coming in like that number would have kept going up.
Nah, that would have went down.
Oh, would it?
What do you mean going
Oh
up?
yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
Because more people would have died.
Yeah.
Less people would have had the energy to have sex, to have kids.
People can't
awful,
even function. Yeah.
People wouldn't be able to get on with their life. They wouldn't be able to live a normal life.
Scary that though.
And reproduce and have a family and that.
Nearly 30% of the country was addicted to this heavy class A drug, and they've turned around and said, "Look, I want you to stop doing it." And they've gone, "Nah."
It's proper cheap.
Yeah.
Like when you sit there and think about it, it's like me and you going into fucking the Asda and starting to sell our own bars of chocolate and fucking packs of crisp and that, and the Asda don't get out. You're not allowed to do that, and we're just going fucking mad, aren't you?
And then taking over the Asda.
Yeah, and just absolutely going, staffing it with all the Asda staff, and I just what, bam, wobbling kids left, right, and centre. This is my gaff, lad. Get out the Asda.
Stack them shells now.
Or
I go sick.
Or get the fuck out. Do you know what I mean?
Called John and Mitch's.
For John and Mitch's.
John and Mitch's for the pizza.
It's John's a price. It's Mitch's price, you know what I mean? That was quite good. I enjoyed that. So yeah, jumping back into the opium wars, as I said, China lost the first one.
How long was it on for, do you know?
I'll have to fucking tell you now if you let me fucking...
Sorry, mate.
If you let me get into it. No, but that's a good question though as well. How long did it go on for? I think the duration... Well, it says here, the further two opium wars occurred, which led to Britain taking more and more of China's land. So we took Hong Kong, and then we took two other places, and then we took all the it was called other lands, like the exterior that they haven't like yet. This like I think it was like part of their land.
About
they haven't put a name on it or established or seen what it is yet.
Yeah, that's 1898, and it started. The first one started in.
Yeah, so over 3 years. I mean, over 3 wars. It's been 56 years. There's been 3 opium wars in 56 years, from 1842 up until 1898.
So just before the 19th century.
Just before the 19th century, 1900. So at this point, we took over all this territory, and then this led to a discussion, a sit down with China and Britain, and just led to a bit of a what should we say? It's not what's the when you actually offer someone something in decline, a negotiation. That's the word I was looking for. So they sat down to have a negotiation, which led to Britain getting a 99-year lease to allow the British colony to occupy Hong Kong itself. So we basically just gained a part of China because we won 3 opium wars, and then to stop the wars, they gave us 99 years on there. So we owned it for 99 years, renting off them basically. Do what you want on there, bring your heroin through your ports, do what you want to do. So at that point, obviously, we were taking the biscuit, you know what I mean? But things started changing, and I'd say over the next century, the British Hong Kong and China were finding 2 different directions, you know what I mean? Like, they split up and went on a little separate way. So China adopted more of a communist type of approach, whereas Hong Kong itself stayed capitalist, because it was British territory, so it stayed British, basically like British laws, British economy, and the British economy boomed. It was booming and stayed booming at that time, whereas the China's was the opposite way, and it pummeled. So there was pros and cons in a sense of, this is just all as we've signed this lease.
Right, okay.
From like the 1900s upwards, it was flying for us, do you know what I mean? Flying, because we were getting dough in still from China, from Hong Kong. We could import stuff from Hong Kong back to the Britain. We're getting it a lot cheaper, so you're getting your products for cheaper. Certain things are cheaper, because then you've got your own wholesalers, your own suppliers, your own warehouses that are going and getting all this tea and doing all that, because it's your land at this point. You're on it.
Yeah, mad that.
So you can go and farm on it. You can go and do what you want on it. You've got all that stuff to do. Then you didn't have that back then, but now you have. So you don't have to sell heroin or opium anymore. You just need to go and grow their own tea and sell it back. You know what I mean? To people in our countries and other parts of Europe, and they're flying. So it did have a big impact, like.
Yeah, it's a heavy
one. But it changed it for the better.
So in the end, they just have to kind of just sit there and just say, well, we'll give you this port, bring in whatever you want.
At that point, they did, yeah. But like, just think over them 100 years, near enough. Because it stopped. So in that, we got, for 99 years, we got it, yeah. So that leads to like what? From 98, 90, so you're talking like 1996 or something along them lines. 1997, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Year before I was born.
1997, it is. So obviously they had to rediscuss, but we'll get into that in a minute, because I still want to touch on the fact of 100 years. what do you reckon we did to their country in 100 years? Like,
Yeah, it's a long time,
lad, it's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. If you think about it, it's your great-great-grandparents' lifetime, know what I mean? You're talking down their lifetime.
It
It's
took
2 hours, do you know what I mean? You're going from theirs all the way now up in 2 hours, pretty much.
it's like 3 generations,
Yeah, a long
2 or 3
time, that, mate.
generations, and think how that's
Well, they
affected.
definitely never stopped importing opium, definitely not.
No, I don't think so. But that would have stopped at a certain point because it got to a point where like China and Hong Kong,
They probably figured out a way to stop it coming in, kind of thing.
exactly. They would have worked together because it's also ruining the economy. You don't want all.
You can't get it all, can you?
You want people to work though as well. If you're owning that part of the industry,
yeah.
you want the efficiency to be up, not down. I think they would have done it differently, but we'd have to look into that side of it a little bit more. But the way it's a bit complicated is the fact that because as it's you've inherited a British colony, that colonialism, a British view and ideology. People in Hong Kong, sorry, there's like a bit of debate going on in Hong Kong. So some people class themselves, they like the British way in Hong Kong, and then some people don't. So there was a proper big controversy. Like people in Hong Kong were frowned upon by China, and then that changed a little bit. And then China have always been trying to get them back, but now there was a big there was a load of protests last year.
Sounds like fucking Northern Ireland.
There was a load of protests last year. It's mad because of like some of Hong Kong residents didn't want to become back part of China because obviously it's communism and the laws and regulations and stuff like that are a lot different. And so I'd say a lot stricter, should we say?
Yeah,
a lot stricter. So
their way of living, yeah.
It's like changing from the British way of living, even though you're in China, because it was colonized, to going back to the Chinese way of thinking and living. It's hard to adapt. So some people didn't like it, and obviously people don't like change anyway. So that caused uproar. But you've got to understand from both perspectives. China wanted China to be China again.
Yeah.
Wanted Hong Kong to be China again. But then obviously people who've grew up like with the British
who lived in Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's still China, but they speak Chinese and whatnot. But it's still the fact of like
we own it.
And it's British ideology. So like there's like for instance, if you go to Hong Kong, like there's still like all little things where they sell tea and stuff like that and biscuits. Yeah, like
is it a different kind of tea or a special?
I don't know. I don't.
Just Yorkshire tea.
I've just their version of tea. I've seen, but I was watching a documentary the other day, and even the way the buildings are, and like there's we done certain things there. Like they were saying, I can't remember too much into it because I briefed over it, but there was like the way the landscapes are. Some of them are based on like British buildings. Train stations, similar things like that. Yeah, like some foods are based on British ideologies and British ways. So it did have a big impact, and it still today has an impact because if you go to Japan, not Japan, sorry, why have this completely got about two things mixed up? Because I was thinking of Cal Freezy's video, lad, from I watched it yesterday when he was in Japan, lad, eating all the scone on a vending machine. He had to live on a vending machine in Japan for a day. It was sick, to be honest. Quite a good video. Cake in a can in that. But yeah, Hong Kong. What was I saying before? I
don't know. You just got me lost now on cake in a can. That's a mad.
That's what sent my head. Yes.
There's like peel a can in there.
Yeah.
And it was cake.
Yeah, there's cake in a can.
Sick, that isn't it?
God, mad, isn't it? Oh, that just put me right up. I was talking about it. Oh yeah, because I think Hong Kong there's still certain British values there and ideologies. That's what I was getting at. Like, scone. Like we have.
So if you go to Hong Kong, if you go to Hong Kong now, could you get like a scone and that, a fish and chips and shit?
I don't know. I think you can get still fish and chips now. Yeah, like and I said all the buildings are based like similar to ours and stuff. It's mad. It's crazy. But coming back to the Opium Wars and the bargaining for land and whatnot and British colonialism, in 1984 the deadline was occurring, and for where obviously the land was to be given back. Hong Kong.
The 99-year lease was nearly over.
Yeah, so the deadline of occupation was arising, and the British government bartered and agreed on Hong Kong's future, leading to Hong Kong adopting British ideologies up until 1997, which is what I've just been
okay, so yeah, so in 1984 they thought, right, we're going to lose this soon, so we'll implement our way of living. So by the time that deadline comes,
it was already getting implemented, but it's like
they've pushed it there at that
point.
A bit more.
Yeah. So then we give control back to China in 1997. So when the control was given back in 1997, Hong Kong, as I said, and today still has British ideologies inside of it, British architecture, the British economy still sort of. The Chinese and British economy was different, but
probably very reliant on it as well, weren't they? Our economy,
maybe, yeah. Like I'd assume so because we have more it was a lot.
If we're importing a lot of stuff over there.
Not anymore though. I'd say China's got a much more stable economy now.
Yeah. But I'd say our economy would have been benefiting a lot at the time, bringing all the stuff into Hong Kong.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know, that would have been a big proportion of it.
It would have been a lot cheaper after products you get.
It's probably why they started trying to push this kind of thing.
It's
their way of living, our way of living a bit more.
It's more like cost of living. Like I'd say back then in China, back like in nearly, I don't know, I didn't live there, but I'm assuming like the 1990s, early 2000s, well 1990s, it was probably a lot cheaper than the UK to live in. Whereas now, I'm not exactly that sure because I've seen people do like videos where they're like how much to pay for rent and how much you pay for rent, and some of the rents are reasonable, but some of them are very, very pricey.
Yeah, especially if you see it now, what they live in, that's mad, isn't it?
And this is all in Hong Kong. These videos I've watched, there's some fella goes around and ask people.
They live in tiny little apartments, and I don't.
Yeah. And like how they make the space is incredible. Yeah, where he is.
They do everything in one room, don't they?
Yeah, it's sick though. They can pull like a drawer out from the walls and all shit like that. It's sick, like you just pull your bed out and it's like
pull ceilings on it. Pull something from the ceiling is your ironing board.
Typing in that and watch like see the conversions. It's so sick.
I've seen some of them pods and that they sleep in. I'd love to sleep in one of them. Now when they go like someone goes,
sleep pods.
Yeah, you know when someone goes over there for like a week as a holiday and
they all done that as well.
They're all stacked up on each other. That bothers me a little bit, like being like someone on top of me or below me or whatever. But it's just having my own little like my little den and that and a little telly and that. I reckon it'd be a bit little base.
No, I reckon it's about that. That's sick. That is sick. That is actually sick.
Be boss that.
I found that like rather interesting.
Seen that once on that edited boards and Carl Pilkington's on it. He was in one of them, and then there's some fella next to him was playing this mad something. And
I just feel like you're in a fucking spaceship.
Yeah, it'd be mad. Why are you getting into it?
You feel like in an episode.
But then imagine when you wake up tired and you got to get out.
I know. Do you know what it does remind me of? If you've watched Andor, and do you know the last Star Wars season that was on Disney?
Oh, I haven't
when
seen
he's in jail, lad, like it looks like the bunks.
Yeah.
The bunks in there, lad, yeah. in like the Star Wars jail.
It
looks sick. It does. It looks proper sick. But yeah, British colonialism was awful. It's an awful period.
Yeah.
We done a lot of
old time.
We done a lot of negative. Lad. All we did is just go to countries and just take over. But we weren't just us. Everyone done it. Spain was doing it. Argentina were doing it. Fucking Netherlands were doing it.
Do you know what? I reckon all the countries they did invade and all that stuff, I reckon they were doing some little bit of good, if you know what I mean. Like in terms of small terms, like I don't know, helping people, small towns out, small little villages, helping families, whatever.
Go all the way back to Rome.
The negatives outweighed the little 100%, positives. Do you know what I mean? So
look at the Roman Empire. Go all the way back to the Roman Empire. I know it's not. This is a form of colonialism. Yeah, it's not British because the Romans weren't British, but it's colonialism still. So you've got to look at this. They made roads, man. Like the Romans, architecture and engineering was on a different level. So they advanced civilization, 100% they did. But they also fucking murdered people for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Butchered pure villages of people and that. Like it happens now. You just don't hear about it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's happened all the way through war. That's what war is. War is fucking murder, pillage, and fucking you want to just... Back then it was anyway. Right now it's not as bad. Like obviously it's not like that. It's about control and power, but back then it was about dominating control over the person, not just the land. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like used to fucking just you've watched films, you know what happens. Like, they take the women and they take the valuables and they kill them. That's what they do.
But then they wonder then why like they have backlash. You know, when they have like people like the kids and all that will see that and what goes on and they'll go and hate it. Then do you know what I mean? That's another. It just carries on then, doesn't it?
It's like all these forms of media. I've written my dissertation on this. It makes male violence against women acceptable. It does. It just shows it because it's in all these video games. It's in a lot of films and it's in all like degrading speech and music videos towards women. That just encourages kids to think that that's okay to speak to women like shit or like treat them like shit. It's wrong. Know what I mean? That's another thing that needs to change. Like there's too much. That's the word I'm looking for, man. It's like I was saying in my head's persuasion, but it's too. I don't know, it's going to piss me off this word.
I know what you mean.
It's controlling and brainwashing kids basically to form into and it's not just kids, it's adults too. Like society's social acceptance of male violence against women because of depicted through different views like forms of media. It actually has a big part to play.
Yeah.
It really does. Like, I'm not going to get into that too much. That's definitely its own episode. I'll be talking about that for about 4 hours. I will, but we'll get into that when we get into that one. But back to the colonialism, you've got to look at the way, like, let's say for instance, India. the Brits went over to India, done a lot of fucking negative over there as well. But we might have done some positives there. I'm not saying we did, but we might have. There might have been one or two things that we may have changed that might have benefited them. But from what I can see, I fucking very much doubt it. Like because all they did was dominate power at constraint. They just wanted to make sure that you're demoralised and you're working for the man. Like I've written a lot of papers on colonialism, lad, and we're not a nice nation. To be fair, we weren't back then anyway. We were horrible.
No,
we just go to Africa and just jack people. Imagine just fucking climbing through your windows, snatching your people up. Like imagine just fucking bopping down to fucking, don't know, where can I say that? Like me and you. Let's say we just fucked off over to the Birkenhead now. Let's say Birkenhead or the Whittle. And we just started kidnapping people and bringing them back over and be like, hey, you're working as me slave now.
Get in that garden and cut that grass.
You little fucking muppet, you know what I mean? And then I might give you the green card as a scouser, lad. You might get your residency.
It's fucked up, lad.
You get your green card as a scouser, lad. 6 years in my basement.
Your green card.
Swear to God, lad. It's awful. There's a lot of things we did, and if you look into history, it's shocking, but so did every other country in the world, near enough, that had a bit of form of a navy back then and a bit of power. It really did. Like, obviously, Africa didn't have a fucking didn't have an army.
Well, that's what I was thinking there, you know. So during that time when they've started this 99-year lease and they've just thought, right, we've had to just give up to these here, let them do what they want. What can we do in this 99 years?
Hong Kong still had a force, but they didn't have a
I bet you know that's where they thought, right, I know what we can do. We can start building up our army. So when that 99-year lease is over, we can say to them, well, look, you're stopping now. And if they do want another war, we're more than ready for it. Do you know what I mean?
Let's touch on to that now then.
That's what I'm thinking. Like that's probably the smartest way to. If you're China and you've just lost the wars,
so what then, lad? Because the war hasn't happened, and we're in 2023.
No, that's what I'm saying. So once China said, like, okay, we've lost these 3 opium wars.
No, I get it, but do you reckon they're still hung up over that? Do you reckon they're waiting for the time to pounce? That's
no. I just reckon they thought, well, we don't want this to happen. They could do, yeah. Don't get me wrong, but I reckon they thought, well, we don't want this to happen again, so we'll reinforce. We'll get our army and our military up and going, so that when that 99-year lease is over. If you want to do it again, we can turn around and say no because we've got the power to say no. Do you know what I mean? 100%. We don't want it coming into our country no more.
I think it's more of a fact of...
But then at the same time, we've probably done all that and thought, do you know what, let's go and get our own revenge. We'll keep investing in our military. And you know what I mean? Like you've just said, they could want their own.
That was only a joke, by the way. I don't really think they're going to start a war like over this. Because this is from fucking 100 years ago.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, bro.
Honestly, on a serious though, if we didn't sit down...
If people live long enough, lad, they probably would.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. If we stop fucking interrupting me as well, man. You're fucking getting on me. Twice now you've done it in the past 30 seconds when I'm trying to get the same fucking sentence out. I think I forgot what I was going to say now as well. You're a dickhead.
Dickhead, blood.
Dickhead. What did you say last?
About them wanting to maybe have their own little revenge kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, that was it, yeah. I forgot again.
I can't help you now, lad. You fucked yourself.
Revenge. So
I said maybe they want
to... Oh yeah, shit, that was it. Come back now.
He's back.
Come back. It's when you said that sentence, because you said the same thing again and it bumped back into my brain. Imagine we never sat down and had them discussions with China, or China didn't want to have the discussions with us at that point and give us that little bit of land. I think we'd still be fine to today, no word of a lie. And it wouldn't be like mad wars. They'd just be like, it'd be more political now, political debates and dramas, but that would have possibly led to another, and it wouldn't have been an opium war this time. It would have been a little bit more different. It wouldn't have been
like a land war, wouldn't it? Maybe territory.
It would have been a war at that point. Yeah, if you're trying to take territory, like it's a war, isn't it? You invade. Do you know what I mean? It's but it would have been.
Would that not be classed as a form as invading important stuff?
No, we were taking a piss. Yeah. No, we was. That's why the war started. They weren't happy with us taking the piss.
Is that we didn't. No, we didn't.
No, we're just not obeying the laws and their regulations and their legal policies and not listening to what they've asked us to do. We're just being dickheads, basically.
But it was legal in England at the time, yeah.
Yeah. It weren't illegal.
So when they were porting it to China in the beginning, it was. Like you said, that was when the coffee shops and all that.
It was fucking like the coffee shop. No, not that early. The coffee shops weren't back that early. But lad, if you've seen Peaky Blinders and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I've seen it off. Yeah,
and again, it's not factual.
But what I got off of that was they were getting it off. He was getting it off China, and obviously I got the wrong list.
No, but the China, that's because the China, that specific China man, the fella from
sold it.
In fucking there, he specifically was like part of the triads or something. This is in the Peaky Blinders, by the way, or whatever the Chinese gang was in Peaky Blinders.
I think it's like the first episode, isn't it? Are you sure?
I possibly, because the bomb go, I can't give people ruiners just like I don't want to do what I'm saying.
Peaky Blinders is old, but
I know, but it doesn't matter. I have to do something the other day and I had to cut it out because I felt bad telling everyone like the
if it's something new, then yeah. But go on.
But anyway, what? Yeah, you said that, but you've got to look at it. That was like early 1900s.
Right.
Know what I mean?
When it was legal.
No, but that's when opium dens were still
when the
smoking
shops were
heroin.
about,
They were still about them, weren't they? Because they had all the crackheads in the back of in the China
yeah.
It was frowned upon then, I think, but it was legal at a point for it. It was like it was openly okay to go and buy that from over the counter. Like I'm not even lying.
So
they
changed the laws for it, kind of.
The laws got altered as time got down the line when they realised the negative effect of it, obviously, and then when the government started caring more about people and profit, but it weren't. It was the government caring more about profit than profit, because more people you have on heroin and opium, the less people work. So yeah, you're making a lot of money from heroin, but then if you can't work to pay for the drug, what the fuck's the point in having it? Yeah. So then it got to a point where it's like we'd rather have a more fast, efficient workforce, and that's when all you had all your strikes coming into play and
What's even what they do over there now?
Your factory. Well, look at this, lad. Have you seen all like the Industrial Act that come into play in like the early 1800s, the late 1800s and the early 1900s, when we used to have like 6-year-old kids working in factories?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is so they swapped opium for fucking kid workers. So it was like, well, either have efficient workers and like we can just get kids working for us and all that as well. So instead of these opium, these kids all that, or not kids, all these like adults on the opium and that, then instead they were. It's just another way of governmentality. You're swapping one thing of control for another way of control. Yeah. You're giving them a job thinking that they're earning money. The money was awful, but they're like, there you go, you can earn a wage doing that. Or you can sit on your ass and take opium and not be able to pay for it. Like, and so in their way, they're not making as much money off opium anymore. So that gets slightly discarded. Know what I mean? Gets more black market listed. Gets made like, I should say, illegal. And then they have all the people working for it when you have a heavy workforce, which makes all this product which they sell and make more profit from.
Yeah, I get you.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're swapping a smaller profit for a bigger profit when you realise that having people working for you and doing all that, working for pittance back then, because they didn't have laws and regulations, so you can be getting paid fucking nothing a day.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Like some days you might get paid, some days you won't.
Shocking. You know what I mean? People were fucking getting killed by machines, kids, not because you'd have to climb in and get something out when the fucking machines working.
I should go into work and think, am I going to get paid today?
Am I going to die today?
Yeah, never mind me.
Never mind your fucking money, lad. Am I going to die?
Am I going to get stuck on a machine?
Am I going to lose a finger or lose a fucking thumb or like shit like that was happening? People
especially if you're a kid, lad. Like you're not going to realise.
Kids today have it easy, mate. We had it easy. We all had it easy. I mean, if you were born 100 years ago, you'd be forced to work in a fucking factory from like 8 to 9, mate. So like, you're on it. Maybe not 100 years ago. Well, yeah, 100 years ago in the 20s, but it was mainly like 100 odd years ago. Like we've got life a lot more comfortable than anyone ever has, and we need to start appreciating that a little bit more. Because as I said to you, the government trying to tap you one way. If it's not with heroin, it's with illegal working. But it weren't illegal back then. It was legal till he brought in. But that's where the union started. That's how the union started. That's how the union became the union.
Right.
People standing and unionising together and fighting against the man. That was the whole point of it. But then, as you see that in Peaky Blinders, again, it's depicted. It's not based on true events, but stuff like this did happen, where they get a speaker in to try and motivate the crowd, but then this and to change the ways, but the speaker will be from the government. So like you've got one of the Peaky Blinders in there, we're fucking smashing it, getting all the people over and that wanting to be for the working man, and you've got this other them up who comes in chatting shit, but he'll say certain things that'll try and manipulate you, or he'll pay someone to try and kill you. Like it was so corrupt, back then.
Bet you did,
It was just different how it was.
I think it's changed, mate. Probably still the same.
Yeah, but they're not just gonna murder you, like
no,
smoke in the streets. They'd probably plant something on you and get you nicked for fucking life or something like that. They tear you apart in a different way.